Inflation has been the number one story that we've been dealing with for a couple of years right now. The cost for everyday items continues to go up, even though we've seen a little bit of retreat here and there. For the most part, prices just continue to go up. So employees are thinking like, okay, well, what's my next raise going to be like? I need to make some more money so I can continue to afford the food and other items that I need to have. So businesses are taking a look at, hey, well, knowing that their employees need this, folks in the C-suite are reimagining what the raise process looks like in an effort to help people be able to make more, possibly. Walmart had their most recent attempt, what they're looking at for their compensation increases leak. And we're going to take a look at that from Business Insider today. I've got an article from that. And then I took that article, put it in Claude, had it create an infographic for us to take a look at so we can get a better idea exactly what these raises look like and how they will impact basically the nation's largest private employer. Again, my name is Ryan Howe. For those that don't know, it's right down. Where's that? Right here, right there, right there. I'm a business coach, works out of West Michigan, around the country, and I come on YouTube sharing information I share with my clients, and I hope to earn your subscription. And I can tell you, this is something that we have been talking about with my clients. It has been compensation, compensation, compensation. That started, I want to say, about maybe 6 months ago. And we have continued to try to find ways to make sure that we can give people the raises that they deserve fairly, also in a way that isn't going to be a detriment to the company, considering we are all planning for the possibility that maybe could be some sort of recession occurs. So let's look at this here. Walmart news raise Walmart's new raise strategy for hourly store workers rewards more than just loyalty, leaked documents show. Now, my understanding we're looking at here is that Walmart has always been a raises are due to like the time that you've been employed with the company. That's where it's at. So let's see what they have. All right, stocking some shelves there. All right, so Walmart is shaking up its approach to reviews and raises for frontline hourly workers. Retail giant is moving to a new performance-based plan. Now, I can hear everybody. I hear you. I can hear you all right now. I can hear you all getting upset at the phrase performance-based plan for raises. I can feel it. It's like almost like a vibration coming through the screen back at me here. And what I want to say is, let's see what they have to say here, okay? Because I feel you. I got you. I know exactly what y'all are getting at right now. And again, so the retail giant is moving to a new performance-based plan that accounts for factors like attendance, teamwork, and overall store performance. EVP of store operations, executive vice president for EVP of store operations, Cedric Clark, said in a memo to managers last week that was shared with Business Insider. The new approach marks a shift from the across-the-board raises that were based on years of service with the company, which Clark said rewarded loyalty but not other individual factors. It's about recognition, accountability, and growth. Okay, I think we all know we've heard those words before. I'm not against them, but we've all heard those words before. And here is the caveat. Associates ask for more control over their earnings, more recognition for great work, and clearer expectations. Be careful what you ask for, folks. That's what I've said this so many times to employees and groups of employees. Be careful what you ask for. When you start tying your compensation to, say, hey, we want clearer expectations and our recognition for great work. Cool, great. Well, what happens when you just have average work or below average work? And then, or, say you have a bad 4 months, then what? All right. And that again, I'm not saying good, bad, or indifferent, just then what? What happens? What's going to happen to your potential for a raise? All right. And that's where I was trying to remind people of that. Okay. So we're going to talk about the largest employer. I don't know if you guys knew this, but they got 1.6 million employees. That's wild. Here's how the new plan works. Years of service are still the most significant factor in determining raises, but now worker and store performance can nudge that number up or down by as much as 1 percentage point, according to additional internal documents obtained by Business Insider. So what that means is they're going to have a standard amount and then it can go up or down. Basically, that's going to be your performance rating. So let's say, here's an example. So workers with 10 or more years of service have a baseline raise of 4%. So their raise is going to be 4%. they could nudge it up to 5% with, depending on how they rate on their appraisal, right? Or it could go down to 3%. Okay. That's what they're getting at here. So here's the three factors equally weighted to account for employees' attendance and completion of scheduled shifts, behavioral contributions to the team, and the overall store performance in both sales and customer satisfaction ratings. Okay, so what I want to do here is let's go back here for a second while I find this. So again, one thing to just keep in mind here, folks, is that as we are going through all of the steps here, that performance-based, again, compensation, it's not a bad thing. You just need to keep in mind is that that the rating that you are getting, right, is not subjective, right? Typically, like that's the case that comes up. How well did you perform? And I like the fact that they got the store earnings plus the customer reviews, right? Those are pretty much, black and white. The other spot is, well, how well did you perform as a team? Now, how are they going to capture that? That's, that has yet to be seen. So let's take a look at this infographic here. Again, what I did is I took the article, I put it into Claude and said, hey, create this interactive infographic for me about this article, and let's learn a little bit more to kind of help us understand. So let's see here. Again, they got 700,000 employees are going to be eligible for those bonuses. The max performance-based raise, again, is going to be capped at 5%, and that has to do starting with how much time you actually have with the company. Less time, the lower this number is. All right. So here's what they're going to be looking at: the performance metrics for raises. So there's going to be productivity metrics, output per hour, and task completion rates. So for those of you who work at Walmart, output per hour, and then how well do you get your stuff done. Customer service, again, satisfaction scores, complaint resolution. I think that one is really actually pretty high in as far as importance for Walmart, at least when I used to work there. That complaint resolution was something that they strived to make sure that we were able to take care of whatever the complaints were as quickly as possible to the as greatest level of satisfaction as possible. Then collaboration scores and peer reviews. There's your teamwork spot there, folks. So how well do you collaborate with everybody? And then your peers are going to be talking to all of you. So there's two ways that this goes, and I think we've seen this. It's either going to be one where I'm going to talk about the peer reviews where everybody works together to say nice things about everyone to ensure that they all get the maximum raise, or you're going to have people who don't like someone and they're all going to be gang up on that individual to make sure that they get a low score. I've seen both of those there. Hopefully it is simply just a, honest review of what's been going on, but we'll see what that looks like. And then attendance, punctuality, reliability, schedule adherence, and then skills development. How any additional training you've done, certifications earned. And really what they're looking at with that when it comes down to that is, how well are you buying in? How well are you taking advantage of what it is that they're putting out in front of you? And they're saying, do these things and you're going to get you'll be more eligible for promotion, but also it's going to help you with your raise. So they're going to look at that as well. Say, are you doing the extra effort for that extra 1%? So it really comes down to you as the individuals that are working there. Is all of this extra stuff worth the 1% raise? Like that's really it. Is everything extra they're talking about? The collaboration, making sure you're good on the peer reviews, all of the training, all of the, again, showing up to work on time. Is all of that worth the 1% raise that you're going to get? And that's 100% up to you as the individual. Now, what I'm doing with my clients, again, we are having deeper conversations about what the compensation mix needs to look like. How much of it is going to be standard COLA raises, and then what is it for merit raises for individuals, merit for the team, and then merit for the company. That's really where we're at. Our specific bands that we are looking at fall into those three: individual, team or section, then the company. And if the individual and team, they're doing well, then we want to make sure that we give something. Obviously, we're going to give what we can back to them at that point. But ultimately, if the entire company's doing great, everyone should benefit from that. And that's where we have each company's a little different, but we have a sliding scale that we use to determine what that percentage should be, after all the bills are paid, taxes are done, and what's left over. Okay. So yeah, that's really where we're at, folks. Again, Walmart, they're coming out with this. It's going to be a bit of a change. It's not a huge change, but that's potential for 25% more. Again, a 25% larger raise per year for those individuals who have been with the company for longer than 10 years. If you are less than that, the percentage is a little bit different. So again, just keep that in mind. All right. So, again, for those that like to learn more about how I help companies grow faster than ever thought possible, be sure to go ahead and check out the link below. Go to summitbusinessguides.com and you can see how I help businesses here in West Michigan and around the country. With that, take care. We'll see you next time.